What's up, you guys? Steven here from otsmovienight to talk to you about physical media, about Blu-rays and 4Ks, and the way we like to buy and own our movies and TV shows. I hope everyone's having a great holiday season. I just thought I would drop this little video in here, sort of a little, just kind of a sit and chat, This question was asked of me not too long ago, and it's kind of been something I was thinking about and realized I really hadn't shared too much with you. I've shared a little bit back during pandemic when I would do the walk and talks, when I really couldn't do anything but walk around outside in the city. But I've made mention in previous videos about how I feel my approach to physical media and my reviewing of releases and that kind of thing might be different because of my filmmaking background, as my career is what I do. And I've been asked recently, and I was asked before and just never got around to talking about it, kind of what that career means, what that is, how I got to that point, and how it really does affect my perspective when it comes to movies. Because honestly, I know that I am a little more aggressive in my reviewing of movies than a lot of my peers in the BlueTube community. I mean, I won't even shop at Dollar Tree like a lot of you guys do, because I know the movies are awful, and I know some of you guys know it. Some of you guys know it too. You just are collecting for the sake of archiving, and I can appreciate that and respect that too. That's a whole, we've talked about what that form of collecting is and the different ways to collect and that kind of thing. So yeah, I look at a movie technically, maybe more than some of you guys. Yeah, not to say I don't have plenty of garbage on my shelf. I do. But there's something about it that is redeeming to me. Maybe it's nostalgia from childhood, or, there's just, I have a soft spot for something that's in it. But, I've had this back and forth with Vinegar Syndrome because I feel most of the movies they put out are not good, and just about everything I've cold bought from them, I've ended up flipping because I didn't end up liking it. There are exceptions, and we've talked about those in my boutique videos. So anyway, just a little background on where I am as a filmmaker, what's coming next, and kind of how it impacts my views on physical media. So I've been making documentary films for quite a while. I started out as a musician. I'm based in Nashville. Some of you know this, Nashville, Tennessee. Started out playing music, not country music, and that's probably honestly why I transitioned out of playing music, because this is a hot spot for country music, but more pop and rock stuff is more of a recent thing in the city, unless you're a cover band. Well, we were doing pretty well, the band I was with, but we hit this spot. I was starting to dabble in documentary film work also, and I needed to make a decision which way I'm going to go. What am I going to invest my life in? The music or the documentary work? And I don't know. It was just like a calling. I studied mass communication in college, which is just general journalism and mostly TV type of stuff. And it just felt like it was a calling to me. So I stepped away from music. Now I do music some for my film work, and that's how I have that outlet. So yeah, so I studied TV and video production, audio production, that kind of thing in school. And I left the music scene and went full force into documentary filmmaking. Now, I have done some narrative things. I've done a lot of narrative shorts. I've probably done over a dozen narrative short films in my career, and I really, really, really enjoy them. And I keep saying at some point I will do a narrative feature, but I enjoy telling real stories, meeting new people, learning new things. Every time I do a new documentary film, I meet new people and I learn new things about the world through real stories. I wouldn't say either type, narrative filmmaking or documentary filmmaking, one is more easier, to be a little more grammatically correct, easier than the other. They're just different. Narrative filmmaking is a very expensive upfront cost with a lot of organization that has to go on, and documentary filmmaking can end up being just as expensive, but it can be spread out. You can do it with a smaller crew and that kind of thing, but you have to do it well. To do documentary filmmaking well, in my opinion, you have to be willing to invest time. My last two, actually all three of my feature documentary films, I've done three, were 2-year endeavors each. So, it's not like a 6-week film shoot and that kind of thing. This is 2 years, most of that production. So, anyway, I'll show you my films. My first feature project was this little film right here. It's called Fans and Freaks, The Culture of Comics and Conventions. This guy is out of print right now. Not sure what's going to happen with it. The thing about documentary films is they tend to come and go in print, especially on physical media. And this one actually is a feature documentary about the fandom convention scene. And this was kind of before, now Comic-Con is kind of part of the zeitgeist, but this was kind of, I did this film a little bit before that was a thing. I spent over a year and a half traveling the country, going to different conventions to meet the people and learn about the different fandoms and all that stuff. There were a lot of high points in this thing. I think the biggest high point for me was getting to sit down and do an hour-long interview for the film with Karen Black. She's done a lot of great films, but for this particular fandom here, you guys would probably know her best from House of a Thousand Corpses as Mother Firefly, but before that she did Trilogy of Terror, she did Burnt Offering, she was in Nashville, ironically. But yeah, this was a really fun project, and this was supposed to be a short film. This was supposed to be my first big documentary short film, but it just blossomed into a feature. It did what documentaries do. It started as an idea, a basic story that I wanted to tell, and as I met people and learned their stories and learned more about the scene and that kind of thing, it blossomed into a whole different thing. I was lucky enough to get some really great advice from the owner of Synapse Films on the distribution of this film, and I ended up making a deal with Diamond Select. It was distributed through Previews, which is a catalog that comic book and hobby shops use to buy product for their stores, and was sold all over the world in Previews, and ended up doing very well with this movie. But the thing is now, they only had it for a limited time. They sold through it, and then they moved on. That's what happens. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it now. We'll see. The next film that I did was another feature, and it never hit physical. It never hit physical media. You can see the poster back there right behind me. It's called Dramatique. It's a documentary about murder mystery dinner theater and the amazing talented people that worked in that theater. It also was supposed to be a different kind of film than it was. It became much more dramatic than I had anticipated that it would. And it became a much different film. I'm still very proud of it. That was the first feature film I worked with my current director of photography, Zach, who you've heard me mention occasionally here. He came on as a third camera. There were three of us all shooting. He came on as a third and ended up, moving up into the primary shooter for my projects. But it is a beautiful story. It is hard to watch at times, very hard for me, because I tend to really connect with the people that I'm doing my films about. I feel like that's the way to get to know them, and I got to know these people. I'm still friends with a lot of them today. But yeah, it's the rise and fall of a murder mystery dinner theater, and that kind of thing. It's available on Amazon Prime. I made a deal there, and it's still available. You can still rent it or buy it through Amazon Prime. It's called Dramatique with a Q. And my current documentary feature is this one. It's called Family of Fear. This is a documentary about, you can see there's a running theme. It's geeks and artists so far in my projects. This is a documentary about one of the best haunted house attractions in the South. It's in Alabama. The haunted attraction is called Arx Mortis. It is highly recommended if you are a haunt fan to make that trip and go down and see that haunt. The movie is essentially, it started out, I started out with a question, a curiosity. And my question was, what does it take to build and run a haunted house? It's one of those dreams a lot of people have. It's like, I could just run a haunted house for 3 months out of the year and not have to work because they do so well. Well, we learned the truth shooting this film. And I thought that was essentially all the movie was going to be about. But again, I got to know the people in this haunt. And there's nearly 200 people that, at the time of the filming, that were working in this particular venue. And I got to share their stories. Some of them were funny. There's a lot of really funny stuff in here. And some of them were dramatic and painful and sad. But it's called Family Fear because I learned that at this point in time, this was a family that supported each other through the good and the bad times. So it's a really good film. Again, it has some really great human stories in it. It's also, fucking scary at times. It's got some great special effects and makeup. And yeah, it checks all the boxes. It's a very fun movie. So currently, this DVD is available through Green Planet Films. I believe you would need to go to greenplanetfilms.com. You can also get it through Canva, which is an educational streaming service. Kind of like your digital library situation. You get it there. I have made a new deal with a new distributor. I can't say the name of the distributor yet, but the deal is made. The contracts are signed, so hopefully early 2022 you'll see that in a new run on all the VOD services and that kind of thing. But if you want to see it now, you can go to Canva and get it. That would be my recommendation. You can go to greenplanets.com and they'll probably, they'll link you to Canva and all that. So outside of those 3 feature films, I've done, I don't know, probably in total, documentary shorts and narrative shorts, probably close to 20. And then a ton more than I can count, marketing and corporate video and that kind of thing. So, with all of that in mind, now that you know, moving forward, what's going to happen in 2022? I've been dabbling in Texas a little bit on a new project. You've seen me post going to Half Price Books in Austin and some different places. If that goes according to plan, I may be spending a lot of time in Texas. And that's exciting to get to go. This is my first real experiences in that particular state. I can't talk about this project yet. That's just the nature of it. I can't talk about it yet. But if you would like to go on that journey with me, I don't know why I'm holding this adapter. If you'd like to go on that journey and you'd like to see some vlog type videos of that progress as best as I can show you without revealing the actual project, let me know in the comments, and if things move forward the way I'm hoping they do, then I can start doing little vlogs, of what's happening filmmaker wise when I'm in Texas. So that's really about it. I just thought I would share a little bit of my history as a filmmaker and let you know that impacts every choice that I make, every review that I give. Sometimes I feel like I'm out in the wilderness because I look at a lot of my BlueTube peers and they're loving these movies, and I finally get a hold of it and I'm like, man, this movie is garbage. It's just bad. It's a bad movie. Is the artwork and packaging amazing? Hell yeah, it's great. The presentation is great, but this is a bad movie. It's not good, Now, I do understand, especially the really low budget, films, honoring and appreciating and respecting these guys out there trying to do what they can with a little bit of money. I get that. But man, I could really, here's the thing. A lot of them just, for me, reach too far. If you have a very, there's something happening next door. I think they're doing some construction. If you have no money, if you have little money, don't try to do a big special effects slasher movie. I recommend looking at movies like Bug, the Ashley Judd movie, or there's an old Ethan Hawke movie called Tape, or to some degree, there's a Morgan Freeman movie called Under Suspicion. Do it small, do it well, get good actors, really take the time to find actors and do something good. Start with a drama. Make a splash, get some money, and then do your horror movie. That's what I say. But I do respect them for getting out there and making their movies, and I have seen some diamonds out there, once in a while. But that's why, I look at things very much outside of any nostalgia, or love of genre any of that kind of stuff. I'm more critical, is what I'm saying. So anyway, I hope you appreciated this video. If you did, like it and share it and sub it up. I'll be back talking about more physical media stuff moving forward. And again, let me know if you want those vlog style videos of me in Texas trying to make a movie with some folks. And I'll be glad to share that. Till next we meet, pull something cool off the shelf, share it with your friends and family, and remind them why physical media is the best way to watch films and TV. I'll see you guys on the next one.